it's your turn to...
Oh, is it for me?
Consider yourself fired.
Why are you winking at me?
Consider yourself fired.
Hello, and welcome to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT.
And I'm Drew.
And we're two nobodies talking about nothing.
Consider yourself fired. All right. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time tuning in, this is the Drew Show. And I do have a special guest with me this evening. Some of y'all may have heard of him, but probably not. JT, welcome back.
This is my show too, Dick Nabbit.
All right. Well,
thanks for having me back, bud. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the JT Show. We got a full show for you. We're gonna hit it hard and hit it fast. Drew, if you could drum roll me, please.
Yes, drum roll.
Put your boobs away there, Drew.
Sorry.
Get excited.
Yeah, you said drum roll, you know. I thought he said jelly roll.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. But yes, we do have a packed show. And I'm excited about this. You know, we've talked about side hustles in the past and
just a
ways
few shows
to earn
ago.
extra. Yeah, ways to earn extra income and that kind of thing.
Well, so this kind of got me intrigued in the side hustles that we were talking about with Jessica, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to start thinking about what could help you make not like legit money, but like a little more extra in the pocket. If you're just kind of, you do your little 9 to 5, and I say your little 9 to 5, sometimes that's like a mental exhaustion. But if you're still hungry at the end of the day and you're like, I'm fed up with doing just my normal 9 to 5, I kind of want some extra money on the side. What's like a real legit thing that I could do to earn some extra cash on the side? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a full-time job. These things that we talk about, you could have them as a full-time if you are in a really good area for that stuff. You know,
yeah,
it's location,
you
know.
If you enjoy it, you could definitely turn it into your full-time gig. But like you said as well, you know, if you're still hungry at the end of the day, if there's something a little extra that you're still wanting, these may be viable options for you.
Yeah, and I think they would be really good. Do you want to get into the first one already?
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive in.
All right, man. So the first one on our list is a real estate agent.
I like real estate.
Yeah, I like real estate as well. In fact, I kind of got off the boat for this one, but I really just like going out and looking at houses, just kind of see what's out on the market, what's open, what are some cool things that people do with their little setup that they have, and what they what they have to do in order to get it picture ready, and what are you as the buyer going to look at when you look at a house, or not necessarily a house. What do you do if you look at like a building that you want to buy or something? You know, real estate agents do stuff like that. Yeah. So, you know, I started digging in and I was like, holy mackerel. Now, I think, and, you know, we don't necessarily have to call this, but I think we should call this episode Side Hustles with Certifications, because a lot of these that we have, you need a certification to get. And some things may be out of your pocket right now, but if you work at it and save, I believe you can do this. And I am at no means any of these what we're fixing to talk about, and Drew is none of these what we were talking about, you know, but they're really good ideas, and they've kind of piqued my interest. You can say if they've piqued yours.
My interest has been piqued, for sure.
Yeah, so real estate agent. What does it take to be a real estate agent? Oh my goodness. There was so much information out there, and so I had to narrow it down. Yeah, I had to narrow it down to just the state that we're in. So Texas is kind of our focus with this. But like most things, you've got to be at least 18 years or older. So if any of our listeners,
so legal adult.
Yeah, so if any of our listeners are 17 and lower, does not, you can skip ahead. But you can listen, and when you become 18, you can have this in your side pocket.
Yeah, you can start planning now.
Yeah, so the courses that they have for these are going to be 180 hours educational courses. I have spoken with a real estate agent who took it a few years ago. She was telling me that her husband, when he took it, he could just skip through the slides or the videos and then go to the questions and answer them that way. And now they have stopped that, and you have to actually watch the video, write your information down, do a couple of pop quizzes, and then you do like a end of course exam after every single one of them, or not every single one of them, but a good majority of them. So there is that. Okay. So it's time consuming. You have to find a sponsoring broker, the broker that's going to hire you on. Now, when you do this, there's going to be some fees that you're going to have to pay in order to get a desk or a slot or an office at that particular location. So you're going to have to set money aside for that. But there are some real estate brokers out there that will not charge you up front, but they'll take a little bit of your commission on every sale that you do. So there is that. There's options. You're not limited to just one person, right? There's some fees for the Texas Real Estate Commission that you have to pay. I was not able to dial back on exactly that amount. The website does not have it, so you will have to go out to the real estate commissions and see how much that's going to cost you. You obviously have to pass your real estate license exam, which is all the information that's on the educational courses, and you can either find that online or you can take a class at, say, a college. So, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. So what is the cost for these real estate courses? Is it something that's going to be, hey, I need to save up for a couple of years, like going to college or something? Or some can. There were some colleges online. Some colleges that you could go through that could cost up to about $4,500 in order to take this particular course. But that's sitting in a classroom and going over the materials and stuff. And if that's the way you learn, then I bet you can get some grants or, something that can help you out in that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but these courses, they prepare you to take the licensing exam.
Correct. They sure do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Or you can do it online, and I think this is going to kind of be where everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to really take to this. You could take it online through a certified college, and it may only cost you up to $1,000.
Oh, wow.
So that's, less money out of your pocket. You're doing it on your own time. And a lot of
that may be better for our folks that currently work a 9-to-5.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do your 9-to-5, get off and do a few hours of these courses. And I believe from the individual that I had talked to, it was on your own time. It was paced at your convenience. So no one's rushing you. Yeah, no one's rushing you. No one's making you turn in papers on a particular time frame or anything like that. So, it's all based off you. Now, these courses could take anywhere between, and this depends on how fast you go, could take anywhere between 2 to 6 months to finish. And that's starting your exam and then taking your final exam to become a licensed agent. Now, the big question is, what's the payout for you, right? So, got to get out my handy-dandy calculator, right? So we know right now that the market is pretty high, right? So houses 5-10 years ago that you were going to buy for maybe $140,000, maybe at $250,000 or $285,000 or $300,000, And as a real estate agent, you take a percentage of what the house sells for, right? So you get a percentage of the total selling value or
Yeah, the commission.
yeah. And so there's a lot of different numbers that are out there right now. I know back in the day it used to just be 3%. Like, oh, you would get 3% cut of what the selling price was.
Right,
But
right.
now it's looking like agents can set the bar no higher than 6%. So it depends on what broker you go through, what they're willing to allow you to set your agent fee at. But it's interesting because,
Well,
yeah,
I was going to say, I'll say, yeah, the rates have gone up, sure, and it depends on, like you said, it depends on the brokers, the real estate agents. But, man, some of those real estate agents out there, granted, most of the time they're full-time, but some of them work so hard for it.
oh yeah,
I know the last house that we had before our current house, when we sold that, we went through a particular broker and realtor that we had used to purchase that house.
yeah,
They came in, they worked with us. I mean, we did very little. They did a lot. The house was listed, and in less than 24 hours, we had 2 offers for the full asking price.
really,
And some realtors or firms or what have you, it's kind of, hey, we'll list it. We'll see if we get any bites. And others are, okay, hey, we'll list it, and I've already got clients in mind.
yeah, exactly.
I know people what they're looking for. This checks those boxes. I'm going to reach out to them, show them this place. Like they really, their strategies, obviously they vary, but some of them are very hard working. And, when you add it all up, okay, maybe it would be cheaper, right, to pay a 3% commission. But how long is your house on the market? Are you going to be sitting on it for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year?
Yeah,
Or, and not to say that everybody who has a higher commission sells them quicker, but if you have somebody that is a hard worker and is getting out there, getting after it, and really working for you, I mean, holy cow, they've earned it, in my opinion.
exactly. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Especially if they already have clients in mind before the house goes on the market. That really helps you and the other person as quickly as possible. So maybe a 5 or 6% asking price for their commission, that's not unreasonable.
Right.
So let's do the standard 3%, right?
Okay.
So if you sell a house at $300,000, 3% of $300,000 is $9,000. So $9,000 gets put back into your pocket for the work that you do to sell that house.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with the 6%, if you're a real estate agent and you've got a 6% on the commission, you're putting back in your pocket $18,000 on one sale.
Yeah.
So,
Again, I'll put the stipulation out there. How much of a go-getter are you, or are you sitting on things?
Right, but are you also a people person too? Because
absolutely.
Because that's really got to get into how you communicate with people, not too pushy, but then again, you're not kind of back and you're not letting your clients tell you this is the house that I saw and this is what I want and blah, blah, blah.
Right, you've got to listen as well.
Yeah, so.
But you could sell one house and maybe that $18,000 in your pocket is awesome, but maybe you don't sell another one for 6 months.
Yeah. That's
or
the realization
a
of it.
year or whatever the case. So again, depending on your work ethic, the market where you're currently at, and your people skills and whatnot, I mean, you could do really well. You have the potential could be there for sure.
It sure can. And real estate agent in our community, I'm just going to tell you this, in our location, is not good because there is a bucket load of them here.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a saturated market.
yeah, here. But if you get into a place that, you're always going to have a bunch of real estate agents, but you've got to remember that a lot of those people are part-time. So, and that might be you at the start off. You might be doing it part-time and may only make a sale every 3 months or every, 6 months or whatever, but it's extra. That's extra money in your pocket. And if you really like it, then if you get really good at it, then why not make it a full-time gig?
Yeah, definitely.
Where you're selling 3 houses a month, or you're selling 10 houses every 3 months, or whatever it is.
Right.
So just food for thought. But there's a lot that you can do. Like if you get your real estate license, there's a lot that you can do that I kind of dove into. And you can, if you've got some time under your belt, you can become your own broker and start your own company and do all this stuff. But what really kind of wowed me was a wholesaling real estate agent, or wholesale real estate is what it's called.
Okay.
So it's I'm going to start this off with, you do not have to have your real estate agent license in order to do this. However, it helps if you do, because you can get put into that market a little quicker. And if you have some time under your belt as far as getting a house ready for sale and stuff like that, you can really help with this particular market and maybe make a little extra on the selling aspect of it.
Well, and he might come off with what's the word I'm looking for? Credentials. There's a word. Credibility. Your credibility, having the license to back it up,
yes,
would speak volumes versus somebody who doesn't.
Right. And if, you're, like you said, credibility, if you have the numbers, or you have if you can back up your claim on, hey, I can sell this house for you, instead of, I'll let you sell it and I'll just kind of profit a little bit. You can tell people, hey, I'll take care of everything. It's just a little bit extra fee. They may just go ahead and give it to you. And what kind of put me in this mindset would be like if you had a death in the family, say your parents passed away, right? Or and you're just like, we really love their home. It was where we grew up, so we can't burden ourselves to put it back on the market, but we need our family to get some extra money or whatever, so we need to sell it, but we just don't have the heart to do it. Here, you do it for us. So it's, what is a real estate wholesale, or what is real estate wholesaling? According to Fortune Builders, wholesale real estate is where the seller doesn't want to spend the time and the effort preparing the home for a market, so they contact a wholesale real estate agent to make the sale for them. So again, that's kind of where my mindset was, where if your parents pass away, you just don't have the heart to put it on the market, you can give it to an agent or go to an agency and they'll wholesale it for you. Now, usually the sale will be to someone that is what's called an end buyer. So not necessarily are they going to be selling it to a person, but they may be selling it to another, like a landlord or someone like that, right? Where they're going to get renters. So,
okay.
Yeah. So end buyers are typically real estate rehabbers. Again, people that are just in the market to get, homes to resell themselves, to flip them again, or to just throw them as a rental.
More like investor types.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're not gonna end buyers aren't going to spend their time identifying discounted properties. They're gonna go straight to a wholesaler and just buy what they have to offer. So if you can get in with, again, being a real estate agent, a licensed real estate agent, that'll put you in that market a lot better than not having your license. Now, again, you don't have to have your license to do this, because basically you're just the middleman. So, but what's the potentials? What's the payout for wholesaling? Okay, and Fortune Builders had an example there, so I just kind of used theirs. But if you sell a house for market value of it is like $200,000, so you say, hey, let's see if we can sell it for $225,000, right? Then your potential profit could be $25,000, because you're doing all of it. You're getting the house ready. You're doing the one as the real estate wholesale.
Interesting.
In order for these. So your payout's better. Again, getting into that little niche of market, you're getting the house set up. You're doing all this as the wholesaler. They go in and they buy it. Your profit margin goes way up. Again, the people who are selling the house are going to get the majority, so they'll get $200,000, but you will get $25,000. So, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I don't think there's a huge market for that. There may be, and you think about it, it's kind of sad to say, but the Greatest Generation, right? The men and women who fought in World War II, the Korean War, right? All those guys are pretty well, they're not gone, but they're going out the door, right? The next generation are the men and women who fought in Vietnam. And those are the baby boomers. And the baby boomers aren't getting any younger. So maybe the market of that, and there's a lot more baby boomers than there was the Greatest Generation. So there's a lot more houses that are owned by older folks. Their kids aren't going to want to do that, sell the property. Again, maybe a house that they grew up in. Maybe anything could happen, right? But right now, wholesaling isn't a huge market, but it is a market, and it could potentially get even bigger. So,
very interesting.
Again, location.
Mm-hmm.
This may benefit the realtors out at like metroplex areas. Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, big areas like that. But you come out east, west, when you're in, if you're in like a small podunk town where you only have a population of 2,000-3,000 people, that may not be your marketplace to do it. Not saying that it's not there, you're just not going to get what you could potentially in the metroplex.
Right.
So, but
speaking of potential and marketplace and wholesaling and real estate, I'd like to throw something out there real quick, just completely off that topic.
Okay.
But mini motos, if you're into mini motos, and this goes out to all the listeners.
Yeah.
If you're into mini motos, you should be sure to check out our good friend Drew Springs at his YouTube channel, which is called Drew Springs. That's DREWSPRINGS. Drew Springs. One word. And you really should check him out. You can kind of follow him on his journey into the world of mini motos, and he does everything from maintenance, gives tips and tricks on how to save money at the pump, and even just enjoying the ride. From what I understand, he's got a GoPro or two, and he'll film sometimes, and you get to kind of go on the adventure with him.
Yeah.
So he kind of covers all of it. So I definitely recommend to check out Drew Springs.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a stand-up guy. Really nice. We had an interview with him on the last episode and wanted to give him another shout-out. So, Drew Springs, if you're listening, keep going, bud. And hope your channel grows.
You're my boy, Blue. Speaking of Blue,
Yeah.
another potential side hustle / full-time gig / hey, I'm retired, I'm looking for something, or in between, or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Something that I found was kind of interesting was becoming a notary.
Ooh, yeah.
And, I mean, you never know. Well, that's not the right way to say that. You never... Oh, gosh. My mind is going blank.
I know, that happened to me.
It's like when you need the cops and they're not around. It's like that with notaries, right? You need something notarized and you're like, oh, crap, where do I go?
Yeah.
Who do I get to do this? And then you're frantically Googling or checking the yellow pages or whatever it is that you do to find that information.
Yellow pages? What the heck is
Yeah,
that?
I barely know them. So, consider becoming a notary. So what is a notary, you might ask?
I was just
Great
about
question.
to ask that. What is a notary?
Great question, JT. Thanks for asking.
That's what I do.
According to nationalnotary.org, a notary is an official of integrity appointed by state government to serve the public as an impartial witness in performing a variety of official fraud deterrent acts related to the signing of important documents. So in other words, a notary is like a legal witness.
Yeah. And for like important documents, right?
Right. So if you have something that needs to be notarized, you would take those documents to the notary. They would instruct you when to sign or initial or whatever it is that you need to do. And then they would sign and initial whatever they need to do and give the document their stamp of approval, basically.
Yeah.
So then when you turn it into whatever agency you're turning it into, they will know that, okay, this has been certified by a legal witness. So this is what's the word? True document.
Yeah, True Blue.
Yeah, it's not been falsified. It's not, this, somebody else has acknowledged that this is good to go.
And legal.
Yes.
Question for you.
Yeah.
I thought the notary was at the bank. Why can't I just go to a bank?
That's a good question. You'll have to ask the bank that. Moving on. No, so sometimes with banks in particular, they require that you have an account established with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't necessarily just walk into any bank and, hey, I need to get this notarized. And sometimes it just depends on the notary. So if they're a public notary, usually they're employed by some agency. So for example, if the bank has you on the payroll as a notary, then you're a bank employee who notarizes for the bank.
Right.
Again, so if you have an account with them, you could utilize that service. Private notaries, however, you're kind of more your own boss. You can see whoever. I know here there is a notary at the courthouse who provides free services, but I believe they're paid through the county.
Okay. So they just kind of do it as their own little gig.
Right. It's kind of like an additional duty for that particular person. And then I know another gentleman who's retired and had some experience doing notary work in the past and is decided to pick it up again.
Well, good for him.
And he's just doing it on his own. He's not employed by any business for it, but he's commissioned by the state, so that's what gives him the authority to do it.
All right. Well, good for him. So,
Yeah.
Being a notary, how much do you make on like a private guy?
So it varies. It's kind of all over the place. As of September of 2022, the average annual pay for a mobile public notary in Texas was an average of about $49,000.
Oh.
So
More than they
about
pay us
$23 an hour. So I know I need to talk to the producers about that, or I'm not coming back. I'll be back.
Yeah, I know you'll be
back. On the other hand, if you're an independent notary, so you're working for yourself,
Yeah.
you set your own rates.
Really?
Yeah, according to ZipRecruiter, the top earners can make an hourly wage of about $74, which comes out to approximately $156,000 a year. Now, again, this is all predicated on how many appointments you have that day.
Right.
That's not necessarily, I worked an 8-hour day, at $74 an hour. Maybe you had 3 appointments that day. Maybe you had 10 appointments that day. It all just depends.
Yeah.
And then the length of the appointments will depend as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're going to sit there and watch them sign, and you'll notarize, maybe 3 to 10 documents. Maybe that'll take you 15 minutes. So you're not getting it all $74.
Well, and I know when we had utilized them for our house, I don't know, a year and a half ago, the individual went through the whole, all the paperwork with us.
Mm-hmm.
Explained everything to us. This is what you're signing. This is what this means. And went through all the, the legal jargon and the statements that she had to go through and all that. So it was more than just, let me, out of this 300 documents, let me flip to the 5 pages that we need to sign. Okay, we're done. So sometimes it's a more involved process, and other times it's not.
Yeah, well, exactly. But you had to pay that individual, right? That was not
Yes.
through your realtor or anything. That was just something that you and your wife had to do.
Correct.
And there's a lot of them that do that. So, when I bought my house, everything was digitally signed, so I didn't have a notary right there. They had a notary at a title company to see that my signatures were there, and they notarized it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
well, when I was in Hawaii, my wife had moved out here ahead of me to kind of get settled and everything, and I utilized the notary on base where I was at because we had to do a power of attorney, and they had to notarize that, and then I had to FedEx that over here so that they would have all the paperwork so she could sign in my absence.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And something like that was a 1 or 2 page document that didn't take any time at all.
Right. But that was all through the base, right?
Right. So as a service member, that was taken care of. There was no me paying them for that service or anything like that.
And it's another perk from joining the military, guys.
Yeah, there you go. So, becoming a notary, knowing all this very little background information that we've given you.
Yeah, that was I was about to say, hey, hook, line, and sinker, you got me. How do I become one?
Yeah, you don't.
Oh.
But our listeners, So there's really not a whole lot of craziness. There's a few requirements and a few suggestions. So one, you have to make sure that you meet your state's eligibility requirements. So in Texas, again, you've got to be 18 years old.
Okay.
You have to be a resident of Texas and not convicted of a felony or a crime that involves moral turpitude that has not been dismissed or discharged by law.
Ooh, okay. And if you have, that's X number 1. You can't do it.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead and hang it up.
Yep.
If you are in Texas, you are also required to purchase and maintain $10,000 surety bond. So this isn't insurance that protects you as a notary, but it protects the public, whoever you're helping, against any financial loss due to improper conduct by you as the notary.
Oh, okay.
So if you jack something up, I don't know, didn't go over everything that you needed to, or something came out, hey, this actually isn't legal, it protects the customer, so they're not footed with that liability or that bill or whatever comes of it.
Right.
You also have to complete the application and the filing fee.
Okay.
Here in Texas, that's $21.
I'm hanging up. That's too much.
Right? I wasn't going to pay anything more than $20.99.
Oh, I was going with free, but okay.
Well, I like that better. You have to receive your commission certificate within 2 to 4 weeks of filing. And then you have to buy your notary equipment. So you have to buy a seal, a journal or record book, and a fee schedule.
Okay.
And then they recommend that you obtain E&O insurance, as well as take a continuing education course for additional training.
Right.
But again, those are optional.
Yeah, well, I think that E&O insurance would probably protect you of anything that that legally could happen. So
yeah,
I know it's on here. It says optional, but I would highly recommend that one. That's just to save your own tushy.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, that's great.
Man. So these are just a few ideas for side hustles.
Yeah, not
or
as
new careers.
Yeah, not as goofy
maybe.
or silly as we did last time, but it really did kind of spark an interest in us to like, well, hey, actually, how could you make some decent money for a side hustle? These things, you don't have to do it all the time. You can do it after your 9 to 5. You can do it on the weekends.
Right.
You can, you have if you're a notary, you have your Saturday fees and your Sunday fees,
Right, yeah. You can really work as much or as little as you want to.
Yeah. But again, you got to remember, as a side hustle, it's all determined on you. So how hungry are you to get some extra money? If you're sitting on your couch, eating your bag of Cheetos, watching Netflix or Hulu or whatever, and you're just sitting there whining about, oh, I don't make enough money, and you have no drive to do it, you're not going to get any money.
Yeah. Simply put.
Crudely put, but it's the truth.
You have the power to change your own circumstances. It's not just gonna.
That's not what you tell
necessarily
me.
just happen. Well, you're special.
Pato.
You don't even know.
You don't even know, girl.
So, in true JT and Drew fashion, we encourage you to go do your own research.
Yes.
And make any changes that you may need or want to make for your future.
Exactly. And if you have any questions or want to dive a little deeper but don't know which direction to go, give us a shout out or an email. Message us on Facebook. We're here. We'll help you out as much as we can.
Absolutely. We give you some good resources. Information that we found or what have you, anything that'll make it easier for you. So
yeah. All right, bud. Well, that was a great show.
Yeah, thanks for being on my show again.
Yeah. Thanks for being on mine. I'll have the producers talk about your check on your way out. It's probably gonna bounce, but
I'm used to it.
Yeah, you should be at this point.
Yeah. Oh, girdle.
Yeah, I've been saying that all day.
All right, brother. Well, I will catch you on the flip-flop.
Sounds good. Thongs out. As always, we'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
jtandrewshow@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JTDrewShow.